Okay, today guys, the lesson was called Mixing It Up. And why I used that name, Mixing It Up, is because today we're talking about mixed numbers. Alright, we're multiplying fractions by mixed numbers. And to really understand how we're going to multiply mixed numbers, we must first understand what a mixed number is. So for those of you that don't remember what a mixed number is, let's start with, let's say 1 and 1 and, let's see here, let's go 2 thirds. 1 and 2 thirds. So let's start with 1 and 2 thirds. Now to understand what a mixed number, this is what we call a mixed number. The reason why we call it a mixed number is you have a whole number and a fraction. They're mixed together. Alright? Now what this whole number actually represents is 3 thirds. Right? That's what it actually represents. It actually represents 3 thirds. And added to our 2 thirds, so think 3 thirds plus 2 thirds would give me, same denominator, would give me 5 thirds. Alright? Does everybody understand that part of it? Okay? So actually what I've got is, even though it's 1 and 2 thirds, this, and the reason why I make it 3 thirds is because this is my divisor, this is my denominator. I want to keep it all the way through. Okay? So, 3 thirds plus the 2 thirds will give me 5 thirds. Now a lot of you may be saying, oh, Mr. Hearn, I already know this, I learned it last year. Okay? But do you remember how your teacher taught you how to convert a mixed number, right? A mixed number, or hashtag, alright, a mixed number, and how do I change a mixed number into an improper fraction? Okay, so to change a mixed number into an improper fraction, and this is very important, because see, we can't multiply this number, okay, because it's mixed. We can't, alright? We have to convert it into an improper fraction, okay? But the way we're going to do that is we're going to 1 times 3, alright, 1 times 3, and then we're going to add 2. A lot of you today were like, oh yeah, that's right. But if you look at it, look here. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. And then I keep my denominator. I keep my divisor. It stays the same throughout the whole thing. Now, that's pretty much, that's the easiest way. I'm sure that's what your teachers have taught you. We multiply the whole number by the denominator, add the numerator. That becomes my new numerator, and I keep my denominator. That's how we convert a mixed number into an improper fraction. Now, as I start all lessons, or as I'm teaching the lessons, I like to talk about, alright, I like to talk about those common errors, okay? And in this case, a large common error is this. Let's say you have 1 1/2 times 2 1/3. Okay? A lot of times what I find is my students will be very tempted to just go, whoa, that's easy. I just multiply whole number by whole number and fraction by fraction. Alright? So that's what they'll do. So they'll come over to, let's say 1 times 2 is 2. And then 1/2 times 1/3 is 1/6. And they'll put that answer down. As I caught somebody working during the lesson today, they did their entire homework like this. Right? And then when I went over and told them, I was like, hey, you actually have all of them wrong. They were like, uh-oh. And then he obviously he started listening to my lesson. So let's actually see how I would solve this problem. Because 2/6 is not the right answer. Okay? 2/6 is not the right answer. So let's figure out what the right answer is. So, to first do that, I have to take my mixed numbers and convert them into improper fractions. So I'm going to do 1 times 2 plus 1. Alright, I'm going to get rid of this blue because it's not showing up. I think I might have to get rid of my magnetic markers. Alright, so let's use the black. 1 times 2 plus 1. This would be 2 times 3 plus 1. Okay? And if I bring that down, I'm going to do a different color because I'm changing from mixed number to an improper fraction. So 1 times 2 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So this one would be 3 halves. Okay? So that one would be 3 halves. Okay? This is mixed. This is improper. Alright? And the reason why we call it an improper fraction is because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Normally when we divide, that's how we like it. Because remember, this is the dividend, this is the divisor. But it's an improper fraction. Okay, we call it that because the numerator is larger than the denominator. So if I come over here, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. Okay, so that's my new, alright, that's my new numerator. So 3 halves times 7, alright, and then I keep the same denominator, 7 thirds. Okay, this is key. Now, we've talked about cross reduction, okay? And like I said today, that all comes into play because of, alright, that all comes into play because of the commutative property and how it works, multiplying across. I can actually bring those around. But if I was going to cross reduce here, 2 and 7, do they have a common factor? No, they don't. 3 and 3, well, yeah, they do. They have a common factor. Alright? So I reduced the 3 down to 1. They both have a common factor of 3. That becomes 1. Alright? And then now I'm ready to multiply. Now remember, I said today, if you want to simplify at the end, you can. Alright? That would give you 21 over 6. But if I do it this way, I get 7 over 2. 7 halves. Now, as I sit down and I look at it, now I have to simplify this improper fraction. That's what everybody struggles with because now I had to take my mixed number, make it an improper fraction, multiply it, and now I've got to take my product, which is an improper fraction, and to be proper, I have to change it into a mixed number. Yes, a mixed number. So how we do that? So we're basically going to go kind of in reverse on how we did it. All we're going to do is we're going to say how many times does 2 go into 7? 2 goes into 7 3 times. Right? So 2 times 3 is 6. 7 minus 6 gives me 1. And I will always keep the same denominator. Okay? So as you can see here, this is the correct answer to this problem. Now when we did the common error, we got 2 and 1/6, when actually our answer should be 3 and 1/2. So be careful, guys. Do not go down this path. Alright? Remember, if it's a mixed number, we must convert it to an improper fraction before we do our multiplication. Multiply it through, and then we have to take our improper fraction and make it a mixed number for a correct answer. Okay? If you can cross reduce, cross reduce. If you can't, if you don't like cross reduce, when you get to the end, make sure you simplify. Alright? Other than that, I hope you guys have a great weekend. We had a pretty good week. Test grades wasn't very great, but have a good weekend, guys, and I'll see everybody on Monday.